In this background lesson, ratios and fractions are compared and contrasted, and other ratio strategies are discussed. In previous lessons, students have learned how to write a ratio and how to generate equivalent ratios. Students also learned that a fraction is also a ratio that compares an amount to the whole. 1/4 compares one piece to the whole 4 pieces. In previous grade levels, students have focused on multiple meanings of fractions. They looked at different models of fractions as part to whole, fractions in terms of measurement, fractions as division, and fractions as an operator. Let's move on to the new skills and concepts taught in this chapter. The first is fractions as ratios. Ratios and fractions are parts of overlapping sets. A fraction is a single number, whereas a ratio is a relationship between numbers that is sometimes written as a fraction. Ratios can be both rational and irrational, where fractions are always rational. Ratios may have a 0 as the second component, but fractions may not have a 0 in the denominator. Ratios and fractions are both not interchangeable. However, ratios communicate the same information, whereas fractions do not. The second component in ratios can be added to determine a ratio total, where denominators are never added together to get a total with a fraction. They also have different notations. In 6th grade, students will use ratio reasoning to convert measurement units. For example, determine how many miles are in a 10K race, knowing that 1 mile is approximately 1 6/10 kilometers. Students may set up a table to solve. One side represents the kilometers and the other side represents the miles. We want to know how many miles are in 10 kilometers. We know 1 6/10 kilometers is about 1 mile. To go from 1 6/10 kilometers to 1 mile, we must divide by 1 6/10. Knowing that the ratios are equivalent, this tells us to go from 10 kilometers to miles, we must divide by 1 6/10 for 6 25/100 miles. Students in 6th grade will develop proportional reasoning through using and analyzing a variety of relationships and strategies, including tables, tape diagrams, double number lines, coordinate grids, and equations. In this background lesson, ratios and fractions are compared and contrasted, and other ratio strategies were discussed. As in most mathematics, simply giving students a set of rules to follow does not develop a deep understanding of what is happening. By delaying the teaching of the cross-multiplication algorithm, students will be given time to think through various situations and gain a true understanding of the mathematics.